Wenn ich euch Geschmack gemacht habe, if I've whetted your appetite in my last film, the first part of this, now second part, then stick around. I'll show you everything else you need to do on Adobe Stock now. See you in a bit. Okay, liebe Zuschauer, da bin ich schon wieder und alright, dear viewers, here I am back again making money with Adobe Stock images built on artificial intelligence, the whole story. We don't need to do a photo shoot anymore. Yes, so I have been selling Adobe Stock images for quite some time, but have been doing this for quite a long... I neglected it, or more or less stopped it. I've uploaded a photo from time to time, but in the past I have done proper business photo shoots where I have organized photo models. They were friends who just did it that way. They were allowed to use the pictures, but it is a lot of work to do that. And yes, and I have now found out that you can now also sell pictures that are entirely based on artificial intelligence. So with Firefly, so to speak, you can then make refinements in Photoshop or assemble images or whatever that would be. It wouldn't have been possible at Adobe Stock before. It wouldn't have been allowed to upload such games. Now it's allowed, and I want to try this out for myself now. And I've already made money in advance with normal pictures, and if that's now allowed with AI, you're going to make money that way too. I am now passing on my knowledge to you, what I already know. And I will keep you updated on how it works in the future with my pictures at Adobe Stock. But now let's first go to the monitor, and I'll show you the basics you need to pay attention to now. Yes, and yes, what the prerequisites are for these pictures and so on and so forth before we talk around. Now let's go to a monitor, see you in a bit. Hello folks, and welcome to the second part of the topic, making money with Photoshop or Adobe in general with Adobe Stock. And yes, in the first movie I showed you how to create image with AI. Go up here again, we generated this image, of course, then without logo, so if it had to be uploaded. And yes, this film is firstly about basically what is Adobe Stock anyway. What does that even mean? Many people don't know about it. I will only briefly explain it now. And then I'm going to show you how we upload it and what we need to pay attention to. And I will show you various pages here where you can learn a little more about it. Adobe Stock is basically a big picture agency. There are several picture agencies. Adobe Stock is just from Adobe, and then there's Shutterstock and so on and so forth. I don't want to go any further into that. Anyway, Adobe Stock is an image agency where customers, you can download images, but you must pay for them. And the images are offered by various people like me. So from me. So I also offer images on Adobe Stock, but then at some point, well, I would like to say not hired, but pursued very negligently because, so, a photo shoot. Yes, so far it was only possible with real proper photos, that is, with photo shoots that were then done and then had there. Pictures were created very elaborately and you had to book photo models. Or I took friends, or even my wife. I will show you something about it, and yes, then the pictures had to be edited. Okay, we have to do that here in this case too. The photo shoot, of course, was very elaborate, doing all that. And that costs money and time. These images, you can find them at Adobe Stock, I mean now at Adobe Stock or at Shutterstock or wherever, uploaded and labeled and tagged and titled and so on and so forth. And then they were offered for sale there if an image was sold, meaning if a customer downloaded the image and then used it, you would get money for it. And that's somewhere between 99 cents to endless, I wouldn't say so. Somewhere, I think the maximum I've received for an image was around 20 euros or something like that, somewhere in that ballpark. And if you don't stay on the ball there, not much will come of it. You really need to upload pictures regularly, offer them for sale so that you can be found when one. Enter keywords. So we're going to open my browser here, and yes, so far the whole thing was not good. Possible with AI. Yes, so AI pictures, but that meant so far. So we have to clarify now, so far. I have opened a page here. Where is it? Here. There is a report here where one can see Adobe Stock announces guidelines for the upload of AI generated images. And that was on December 6th, 2022, so about a year ago. That's when Adobe Stock was actually introduced. Unlike other image agencies, it has given the opportunity to work with cards, selling AI created images, i.e. uploading them. So, and if we now switch to this tab, then I have already here a search entered, businessman, computer, meeting, and AI. I directly wrote behind it because now we are actually also shown pictures that created with AI. Here it is with AI. Yes, I also want somewhere they were probably created in an English speaking area. I mean, I think I've seen something here before. So where it said AI, did I get that wrong? I don't know right now. Everywhere where it says AI, those are artificially made photos. Now please look at this. Look at the quality, and if we take a look at these results, there are so many AI images in here, artificial pictures that are not real people. It looks so incredibly real. Yes, that's, for example, a regular picture. We see when we hover over it, this AI does not appear. But I entered that as a search term. No? Of course, these pictures are mainly displayed to me here. So I'm going to my page. This is now my Adobe Stock page. Right now I have a balance of 26 euros and 21 cents, which I could withdraw. And if we look at this picture here, yes, that's a picture I once photographed. I did a whole series on the topic of home office, and of course I uploaded it in high resolution. And yes, this is a home office picture, and it has already been bought 68 times, mostly by magazines. So eigentlich da, so I can search for this using a search function on Google, a kind of reverse search where the images have already appeared everywhere. And it's already very funny when you see they are up to China. This image has been somehow in the magazines in many foreign areas. Newspapers often use this, but also from advertising agencies and so on. Also, of course, from private individuals. Yes, but as I just said, such shoots are naturally very complex. Really very, very complex, but we already see that I have been doing this for the last few years. I hardly did anything in here because it's just too much hassle, the whole story. And now that I've discovered for myself, I actually only discovered a year later that you can now sell AI images on Adobe Stock. I got very curious and now I will actually try it myself. Money doesn't stink, I dare say, and why shouldn't one make money from it? No matter what your attitude towards AI is, but I won't miss out on this and will just test it for myself or for you, then be live. No? Yes, and then I just wanted to see what happens when I enter such data at Adobe Firefly, yes. That I get a similar picture here, like my picture that I have sold. So often here, and now I am going to this page here and I enter down here. I'm going to click out here so I can see a text, a woman sitting at a computer in the living room with a cup of coffee, either wearing a bathrobe or with a bathrobe. Then I got the results. Okay, if I look at this now, but take a closer look, then I see that we're going to have a bit of a problem, but I think now 40 is really almost an improvement every day as far as AI is concerned, no? Because AI learns on its own, so to speak. And this is certainly going to change somewhere in the near future, the whole story. We see here the hand here looks very strange. Somehow it looks like it has 6 fingers. Then let's click on this. Look, the fingers are fused together. But here 1, 2, 3, 4 and the thumb is not seen as the hand looks normal. The finger is oddly enough, there is no nail polish on it, I believe, or it's just a glare here. It's not fully functional yet, but as we've seen in the past, you've seen in my videos that I'm always tinkering around. With Adobe Firefly, you really get great results in principle. However, there are a few things to keep in mind with Adobe Stock, whether it's photographed or AI based. Photos uploaded must be certain, fulfill things, otherwise they will be rejected. So for that, let's go here on prerequisites. Here you can see what I entered in Google. Prerequisite for offering photos and illustrations at Adobe Stock. Then I come to the help page, and here we can already see what happens. There are really a few things that we must pay attention to. I can only recommend you to read through this here. Especially important for us now. What you need to know, it must be a JPEG. It needs to be saved in sRGB as color space. It can only be have a minimum image resolution of 4 megapixels. So not less than 4 megapixels, but not more than 100 megapixels either. Okay, we will rarely achieve that. And a maximum file size of 45 megabytes. We usually won't reach that either. So now it is very important that you pay attention to that when you generate images, that you do it either in such a way that you do it without upload a reference picture to Adobe Firefly. For that, we're going back to Adobe Firefly now. I've opened so many tabs here like this, and you have the opportunity here to upload a reference image. This means you have an image, for example, where a person can be seen doing something. And now you're thinking, okay, then let Adobe Firefly calculate this image for me, and I want a similar image. And upload this person though, meaning this picture with the person visible. You can't just do that. You have to treat it like it was a photo shoot. Have a model release signed, and this model release, i.e. this permission from a model, which must be signed, contribute to the download and upload this year. From the picture to Adobe Stock need to be uploaded. There is just as much of a model release required as there is for an original photo shoot, where a person is clearly recognizable. That's how it goes, or it also affects that the building that are so protected. So some private house, for example, you can't just photograph it and then I just upload it here like this reference picture gallery. I'm going to have a new house calculated from this. You're not allowed to do that. Then you would actually have to have a release from the house owner. This is actually the case when you take Adobe Stock photos. You always need to have permissions if people are identifiable, or if there is something legally protected like a private house. So basically it's of course easiest by just putting it under description here. Write something you're imagining right now, something you want to generate. And if you don't upload a picture to Adobe Stock as a reference, you'll never have legal problems. But we'll also upload a picture live, and I will show you some special features there. So, but basically important for you, even if you want to deal with it, then go to Adobe once and open this page here, where you can read through the requirements for photos and Illustrator to the Adobe Stock area. And these are really, really important topics that one must consider. But I would save that more in this movie to do it here now. Yes, we will also upload the picture, then you will already and see what we need to pay attention to. And here, for instance, recommended for image repairs. Removal of logos in brand. Basically, no logos should be recognizable. It could happen that the AI creates some logo or something. So it's really important in photography not to include, for example, a Mercedes logo or whatever when cleaning dust spots and effects. What is not recommended is, for example, adding sun rays and light reflections, like in my case, picture. What I did in the last movie, yes, in the movie before the last. Here we have a speed art movie, creating mirrored images or using effect filters, adding border embellishments or frames and so on and so forth. So definitely read through this, but I think this is the most important thing I have shown you just now. The maximum and minimum size, color space, and image shape format. And as I said, what I just told you, you have to pay attention to the legal aspects and perhaps upload a model release or an object approval. No? If you've uploaded a reference image, this only applies to AI-based images as mentioned. Okay, then I am going to close this window or minimize it. We are now going to the bridge in and we're trying this now. No, we need to save it first. So we want to save this picture now so we can upload it, release a test file, copy, and I will save it all as JPEG now. Save it. I'm doing this on my desk now. I'll just leave the name as it is and say save and secure. Okay. Let's go to the bridge now, and then we can go here now. Go to the following tab. We need this if we want to go directly through the Blu-ray file. Do it. So this publish window here is really a very comfortable thing. If you don't have it, go to window and then, because he chooses this published window here, then you have it lying here too. You could already enter metadata before here, yes. And you could already enter a picture description. You could already enter the name for this picture, but I'm saving that for now because I can also do that directly at Adobe. But for those who prefer to do this in Bridge, you can now enter all of this here. And of course, you can then immediately take this over in Adobe Stock. These things will then also be displayed there. On this subject, I already have a complete playlist. And indeed, my Arduino Bridge playlist, just take a look there. I have also explained exactly how you create metadata and so on. All right, what do we do now? We are in the published window, and at first it looks like this. You have the option to upload something to Adobe Portfolio or Adobe Stock. Here I am clicking now. It might be that you first have to connect with your, here is your Creative Cloud account. I actually had to do this again after a long time because I haven't been in here for a while. So before we of course do this, I almost forgot, you naturally also have to register as a seller at Adobe Stock. Now I'll show you this quickly. Yeah, you just have to click through it. You just go up here to your, click on the Creative Cloud button, and it's best to just click down here on Stock. Then you get to the stock page. I'm going to log off here now so you can see it the way you have to. So I'm logging off here now. So, and then you can click on sell here and yes, and then you can establish a second foothold here. Open up, so to speak, and offer your content to the world's largest creative community. And then it starts, and then you can register there. You have to enter some things here, of course, and you have to fill out a tax form so that you can then, it is not absolutely necessary, but sadly then your earnings in America are taxed, and you can save that by filling out these tax forms. But that's pretty much self-explanatory. So just register through this method and then you can actively sell here. Otherwise, you would actually have the problem here as well that you can't do anything here because then you simply couldn't upload anything. Okay, just one more addition, and now I'm just dragging the image in here. Now it's being uploaded. So incredibly comfortable, and now there is images. In other words, one image was successfully uploaded. Continue with Adobe Stock to tag your images and send them to Adobe Stock. You could now say done. Then the image is now on Adobe Stock, but you will not be redirected there, or you go directly here, and I am doing this now so that we can get there. And now we're coming over here. I'm going to enlarge this now. And here we now have the picture. I have a few more pictures here. And if you haven't done anything to this image yet, you'll first see a red dot here. You can now view this image. Do not yet release for review. If you have a complete picture like this, then you can do it like this. Approve review, meaning Adobe needs some days to review this image and then either release or reject. And to get there now, I will show you how we need to proceed here now. Right now we can't check anything here because we haven't entered anything yet. Here we actually have a check mark in include submission. Yes, so we can now put a tick here, and then eventually we can say the pictures that we have all ticked off that we can calculate all at once. Then you don't always have to do everything individually. We'll see what I mean in a moment. First of all, in this case we chose Hartas. We choose photo because it is a photo-like image. An image is as if it was made with a camera. We are only talking here now on the topic of AI. If I were to take this picture here, this is a normal photo of me, just like this one. Let's just take it and I would want to generate it now. Then of course I wouldn't put a check mark here. And it's clear here that it's a photo. This is about food. The whole thing is in German, namely the keyword and the title. So if I do this here now, so I am going to approach this differently now. There are a few things I have to consider. First, I'm putting a check mark here, created with a generative AI tool. I'm clicking on it now. And then we are pointed here to familiarize yourself with our requirements before you tear down content. Were created with generative tools based on artificial intelligence. You may not submit content that were generated in relation to other artists. Quite clearly, here we are back to the legal stuff. You are now not simply allowed to copy any image here just like that. It's not really important, but you really need to enter your own prompts and not somehow now copy prompts from somewhere else and then you essentially got the same result. Well, then it's also possible that you're considering now, or is it illustrative? No, it's not, because it's really the image is what really looks like a proper photo. As soon as you are a bit graphical on the move, then you have to tick this as an illustration. So let's have a look. So photo, then category, religion or culture. No, of course not. We are now dealing with people here. You can choose here from various fields. We are now dealing with people here. Title and keywords are in German, right? I'm going to do all of this in German now. I have everything free here because I didn't do this in Andromeda Bridges, so we can go through this together. And next, it is also important that we tick here again, people and property are fictitious. So here comes a message again that I'm going to read out to you. Now I confirm that person or property in this stock medium do not base on identifiable persons or identifiable property. Do not activate the checkbox if you have a real... So if you are using a real person or real property to create your AI stock medium, you used, in this case, upload a model release or owner release. Yes, here we are back at the topic which I just told you about. In this case, I only entered prompts here, did not upload a reference image, so I can tick here now. That's it up to here. We don't have to pay attention to anything else here now. So next we are going to give the picture a title now. A title at Adobe Stock. What is meant is that you are describing the picture now. Yes, that is then, but also the name for the image. But here we can enter up to 200 characters to describe this picture, and that is also the name of the picture. So now I'm going to do it. I'll show you how I would do it. I would write in here now, a woman in one Christmas Santa Claus suit, auch apparently Santa Claus costume. A woman in a Santa Claus costume in front of a decoration. The decorated Christmas tree in the living room. So for example, you could write it like this. Yes, so you can see you can really write a proper sentence in there, not in bullet points or something, because that's the next part. So I would just leave it that way for now. Maybe it could be a little nicer. Make some effort when you do it. It's really little. I mustn't make the film too long here. Good. And now we have here the possibility to enter keywords. Add at least 5 keywords in. Add. This is now important so that the customers who are looking for such an image just enter words at the top in the search bar and then maybe get your result. But we already have suggestions below, keyword suggestions, and we can simply add them now. Let's see how it goes. What does it look like? Christmas, Santa Claus, woman, holiday. Well, not everything fits. So I would actually say now either add all if they all automatically inserted, or I just click here on the plus Christmas. That fits great already. Santa Claus. Yes, it's actually a woman, but I'm going to select woman too. Holiday doesn't fit at all. Tree, excellent. We have Christmas listed twice now. Christmas. Yes, you shouldn't do it twice. Also party pass, gifts or gift, excellent. Winter is also Christmas, I guess. Decoration can also be used. So, and so on and so forth. So you can really let loose. Yes, she's smiling too. Subtitles from the Mardo community. There are also many words that are total nonsense. So beware if you say add all. Should definitely not be done then. Beauty fits very well too. Christmas tree, splendid. It is also red. Look. And it's that simple and you almost don't have to worry anymore that you guys aren't getting the idea to write something in there, no. But now you can click in here again, put a comma, dial tone, then for all I care you can add Santa hat now. Christmas cap or whatever. To keep it from getting too long, I'll stop here. I'm going to remove the last comma again. And now we can also say tool to rearrange and activate. I'm doing this now, and then we get all these words here, one below the other. I'll show them all by clicking the blue field below again. Subtitles of the Mario community. Now we can say, I want to sort the keywords by importance, because it's important that they really are the most important. Keywords are at the top. You can see that here they are marked in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are blue, and these are the most important keywords that are then also found, and they should really be at the top. So one really has to consider that Christmas should definitely be a keyword that should be at the top, just like Santa Claus. I could also turn Santa Claus into Mrs. Claus here. Now let's say Mrs. Claus. Subtitles from the Mardo community. I think it's more fitting than, and otherwise I'm leaving it like this. But here, you know, now you can take the whole thing here. Grab and move it here. You can, for instance, do it there or this one there. And you can slide this back and forth as you want, depending on its importance. So now I always click here, update automatic category. If I click on it now, the following happens. Everything remains the same as we set it up, but here above, category. This has suddenly changed again here to religion and culture. We've just discussed it here, people hired. Alright, but Adobe Stock notices religion and culture have something to do with Christmas. Could also fit, and if Adobe Stock says it now, then you have to consider for yourself whether you want it like that or whether you want it the way you want it. Says, I would actually accept this here now, what Adobe has told me now, and then we have everything entered here so far. So now I can say save changes. I'm going to click on it once, and now this image here is completely finished editing, and I can upload it now. So, and then I click here once on the picture, activate it, and click here on new. The moment I clicked here on new, I now get a button here. Well, I can say submit 2 files. Now for me, too, because I have here 2 files which are edited. Once here, my chicken, yes, there we see the green dot, and the young lady from the Christmas tree now also has a green dot. I cannot submit the other 2 yet because we are not finished with this yet. So if I click here now, the data will be uploaded. I'm doing it now. I'm just doing it now. So I'm going to do it now. I'll click on it now. And now we have another box here, terms and conditions. I have reviewed the submission guidelines and especially confirmed the following. I have added a model release for each recognizable person because I clicked down here that it's not necessary. because that, since they are fictitious persons, we don't even have the chance to upload anything here. Yes, otherwise we would have gotten a field here where we can now upload a model release. My content does not contain any logos, brands, or other potentially problematic items with intellectual property. All clear, we don't have either. My content is AI generated. I've made this clear by ticking the checkbox accordingly. We've done that, and so on. Read through this. I'm confirming this now with the tick. And I go on. Okay, I can't proceed yet because I need to tick a box here. Of course, I need to tick both. And now I'm moving on. And now I could say here, these 2 images, I'm uploading them now. Click send. So I'm not doing this anymore. Yes, I'm canceling this now. I'm definitely not going to upload the pictures here now. I did this just so you can see what it all looks like now. When you have done that, it will say being checked here, being checked. I'm going to do that now, and I haven't mentioned anything from there. Nothing is being checked at my place right now, and you will find these pictures here. And at some point it says that the pictures were released, and then he finds this here under releases. If I click here, then you will find all my images, and it's then open-end here. Yes. And then it's just a matter of waiting. The images are then uploaded to Adobe Stock. Then eventually it may look like this for you. Now I'm going to the uploaded files. No, where do we have it now? Here it is, my page. That's what it all looks like. And as you see, this year I only had 24 downloads where something was downloaded and earned 26 euros. The reason is simple. I haven't maintained my Adobe Stock account here at all, but I can tell you, if I upload a few pictures regularly from here, I comfortably take from the computer without having to design a photo shoot. Then mine will also fall further. Portfolio is also found better because then I just rise again in analytics, and exactly. So this is what it could look like for you, and it's really very exciting. What one might at home in the evening hours, when one otherwise would have nothing to do, sit down for half an hour, generate an image that you then upload, and just wait and see what happens. I think that's very exciting. If you should then become interested in really trying it out, then very, very important, take a good look at this page again, because Adobe sets very high requirements. So it sets the quality standards very high. They don't accept everything yet. And don't be sad if the first attempts, nothing has become of them and you only have rejections. You really have to push yourself a bit. And I also had many at the beginning. I've experienced failures, and a lot has been rejected until I found out what it was about, whether the pictures were perhaps too blurry or whatever. Yes, and of course you have to find the right topic. Yes, always look around a bit. What is current now, for example, during the time we had Corona, there was home office is a very, very important topic. And for example, one could enter a few prompts on the topic of home office in Adobe Firefly or whatever. So it's really important to always keep up with the times and think carefully about what you want to upload. Dear viewers, I hope I've been able to inspire you a bit. I too have just been freshly inspired by through my investigations, so to speak. That's how I came to realize that you can actually upload AI checked pictures. Very, very exciting topic. And from this perspective, I would say my opinion on the topic of AI has changed a bit, at least when it comes to this matter. I want to try something in the near future, create a talk show with a friend of mine who is very familiar with AI, who is also professionally active in this field. And I would like to have pro-con debates with him and do it on camera. And I don't know if we're going to do that, but this is really a topic that has me totally torn. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. And it would be great if I could actually talk to someone who really knows about it. And yes, maybe I'll make a film about it. You can write in the comments if it would be interesting for you to have a conversation with an expert on AI. And with me as such a skeptical person, no? Okay, got it. I wish you then have a nice rest of the Christmas season. And if we shouldn't hear from each other again, a happy new year. but I think we'll see each other again before that. All clear until then. Subtitles from the Amara Org community.